Hi, my loves. How is everyone doing? Gosh, I have been a bit MIA. I know y'all missed me because I missed you guys equally. And I'm trying to do one video per day at least. Either early in the morning, I'm going to record super early, or late in the evening. Okay, so this is going to be my video for today. I'm going to be looking at what are your best traits. I'm going to allow these cards to guide the information I share on here with you. And keep in mind, guys, this is just my creative space. You don't have to fully agree with everything I say on here. In fact, I would only encourage you guys to take the information that you feel most connected to and disqualify the rest. Okay, not all of the information I share on here is going to make sense to you, and that's okay. It's not meant to make sense 100% all of the way. Only take the information that you feel most connected to. I have to keep saying that, right? Okay, so I'm going to do something a bit differently. I'm going to do 3 piles, my usual 3 piles, but I'm going to be randomly selecting cards from here to determine the pile information, okay? Or I guess the leading card for the pile. Okay, so I randomly selected. Okay, let's go on to what each card says. Will this pain ever stop? For pile 1, for pile 2, I feel lonely. And for pile 3, emotions overwhelm me. So you all know how I do these. There are timestamps available in the description box. So click the bottom left corner of the screen. You're going to see a small word that says more. You're clicking on that and you're going to see these cards pop up as well as timestamps. Select the card that you feel most drawn to, that you feel most connected to. Pause the video if you need to and allow your intuition to guide you. Of course, I'm going to do channel messages based on the information of each card. I'm going to channel messages solely based on the information on the cards, okay? So let's get into it. For pile 1, it says here, will this pain ever stop? For pile 2, I feel lonely. And for pile 3, emotions overwhelm me. So let's get into it. Will this pain ever stop? Okay, so let me just give you all a few channel messages. What I gather intuitively is that some of you could have been through very challenging situations in life, and you feel like the emotions you experience cause you a lot of pain. And I think what you need right now, my pile 1, is something called emotional regulation. And it's basically where you sit with yourself and you pick apart your emotions. So I would strongly recommend, if you have a diary or a book where you write down your emotions and why you feel how you feel. Yeah, it may take some time for you to actually pinpoint the root of each emotion and why you feel how you feel, but it's definitely worth it, and it's an activity I think that would definitely help you. Pain only happens when there are emotions that you are not confronting or that you are not addressing, okay? So you can possibly have a lot of pent up emotions that you're not facing, or you may not know exactly how to really connect with your emotions effectively. My pile 1, don't take that the wrong way, and because of that, you're experiencing a lot of emotional pain. Now, for others of you, I'm going to interpret this differently. If you have any sort of injuries or anything like that, or physical ailments, there are solutions to every problem. And I think you may have to go to a practitioner, somebody that is, like, for example, a chiropractor, or somebody that is versed in physical ailments, and they would be able to assist you with your issues. I'm no doctor, I am no medical person, but what I can say is that there's a solution for every problem. So this is only going to be for some of you. If you click pile 1 and you have physical pain in your body, you may want to look into actually getting somebody to assist you with that, okay? For others of you, just need to stretch more. I'm getting that intuitively. You may need to do some stretches, like early in the morning when you wake up, get your blood flowing through your system. Have your body more at ease. Stretches go a long way for your mind body connection, and it definitely would benefit you not only on a physical level but also on an emotional level, okay? So somebody needs to hear that. And yes, in case you were wondering if your pain will ever end, yes, and it will end as long as you do the work internally to actually put things in place to prevent certain negative thoughts or emotions to enter your mind space. That these are I guess intuitive messages that is coming through right now, so I have to say it. I have to channel the messages that come to me. Okay, it's very human. I want to validate your experience. My pile 1 is very human to experience pain. We all experience pain in different ways, in different experiences in life, as well as, I guess, the intensity would vary from person to person. But what matters most is how you deal with that pain and how you cope with that pain. What are your coping mechanisms? Are they maladaptive or negative, or are they positive coping mechanisms that you do have, my part 1? Do you journal? Do you write in a diary? Do you go for long walks? Do you exercise? Do you have a hobby that you can transmute your energy and pour your energy into, my pile 1? These are some questions that some of you that chose this pile really need to ask yourself in order to actually find proper remedies for whatever pain you're experiencing, whether it be physical pain or emotional pain. So I hope that information helped. Okay, so let's get into what are your strengths. Let's dig into the positive aspects. Okay, I'm going to be using my crystal healing deck because I absolutely love this deck. You all know I'm literally obsessed with this deck. So I tend to use it more often than I would ever use my other decks, but hey, it's all love. So let's see, what are your strengths for my pile 1? I'm going to randomly select cards. Whatever comes out, I'm going to interpret information on the cards. Okay, what are your strengths? What are your best traits? Let me remind you today, I'm pretty sure this would help you in one way or the other, so let's dive right into it. I'm going to only select 3 cards, okay, and I'm going to set aside the rest until I get onto another pile. So let's get into these messages. So the first crystal that came out was selenite, and underneath this it says angelic crystal. Okay, don't mind my nails, I have to do them. Okay, your girl is busy. Okay, it says here, I am held in the arms of angels. So some of you needed that reassurance for pile 1, especially if you've been experiencing any sort of emotional pain or physical pain, whatever pain you may be experiencing. This is just reassurance that you have angelic guidance. Okay, there are angels around you. No, you're not alone. No, you're not going through life alone. You may feel alone at times. This is what I'm channeling intuitively. You may feel alone at times. You don't have to deal with everything on your own, my pal 1. There are people that you can reach out to. There are people that you can talk to, myself included. If you want to reach out to me via my emails, no problem. Check out the description box in my I guess the top section of the channel, and you can reach out to me via email. I'm open to actually working with clients one-on-one, because you all know my background is in counseling, so I am open to talking. If you need to talk to somebody, I'm here for you. So you're not alone, and some of you need to hear that. But let's talk about your strengths. Your strengths, I would say, naturally, when you are in balance and when you are at a higher point in your life, because some of you may just be having like a down period right now. We all have those. Trust me, as a human, similar to you, and I have down periods as well. But I don't stay there, and I know some people may have challenges like getting out of that place, of that dark space, or maybe out of a place where they feel like they're exhausted or tired or overworked, overburdened, all of these things. It's human and it's normal. Okay, so I just want to validate your experience. All right, you are very neutral. Okay, I'm seeing here, based on the information on the card, you're a neutral person. I think you know how to not take sides. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you that chose this pile are Libras. Okay, Libras are pretty good at just being very diplomatic. They don't like to take sides unless they absolutely have to, and even then they find it very difficult to decide on taking sides. Libras are awesome. But anyway, I think you as well, you're just a very lighthearted person. You have a lot of tranquility within you, and you bring understanding to relationships. That is who you are in your highest vibe. And I'm here to remind you of that, my pile one, okay? You are the type of person that you know how to access angelic insight, actually. So some of you need to pray more for pile one. I ain't no pastor, I ain't no preacher, but I do believe in the power of prayer, and I pray a lot in my personal life to overcome challenges, etc. And maybe some of you need to incorporate a lot more prayer into your life, regardless of your beliefs. Prayer, goes a long way. Even if you will it to the universe, or you pray to the universe, you look up at the stars, you look up at the moon, whatever your beliefs are, once you see the power of the word, it's potent, and once you understand that, you can navigate through life with a more light-hearted approach, which does exist within you, my pile one. So your strengths are the fact that you are light-hearted. You don't really like to take sides. You know how to be objective in situations. You have a lot of internal peace, and you bring that peace to others. And you have tranquility as well within you. You have that. You naturally have that energy when you are in your highs, for want of a better term. Let's see, what else? Obsidian. It says here, creates a psychic shield. So some of you, one of your strengths is that you are able to create a protective shield around you. I don't know if you do this intentionally, or if you just do it by out of self-protection mode, but there is a protection shield that you actually put up. And you have the ability to clear out negative energy within you. You are able to fight against depression. If depression is something you battle with from time to time, you have the ability to fight that. According to this card, it also says here, support self-control. So I think you have a very fair idea of what self-control is and how to have that. And some of you just need to relax more. You naturally have the ability to do these things, but I think because of whatever you're experiencing right now in life, it kind of has you feeling a little bit down in the gutters, for want of a better term. But you do have the ability to empower yourself. To the bottom of this card, it says here, I am empowered by volcanic might. Okay, and that is who you are. You are naturally a very empowering type of individual, especially when it comes to self-empowerment. But what I can say to you as well, my viewer, for pile one, listen, we all have seasons in life where there will be ups and there will be downs. Sometimes when you go down, you go down. But when you go up, the ups are just as high, and this is the ebb and flow of life. Right? This is the ebb. This is a natural flow of life. You can't expect a life with no struggle. That's impossible to accomplish. A life with no struggle, and by struggle, I don't mean, the type of struggle you're thinking about in a 3D sense. I'm thinking more on the frequency of internal struggle. We all have internal struggles from time to time. It's literally how things flow. We are humans, and we very much internalize and interpret a lot of the things around us. It's very natural for us to do that, but it's just that how sometimes people may have difficulty navigating through certain experiences, and that's I guess part of the internal struggle some of us have to overcome. And in this case, I'm channeling intuitively, maybe you need to learn how to better cope, and how to better move through challenging situations, my pile one. Okay, but it comes with time, and it comes with experience, it comes with practice. A lot of what we practice, we become good at. So if you are the type of person that practices a lot of, negative thinking, pessimistic thinking, then you're going to become good at that. And then it's going to be difficult for you to get out of that loop or habit. So I think for you, my pile one, there is something about how you think or perceive situations and experiences that you need to work on. And I say that with love. We all have things to work on, and myself included. But I'm getting strongly for this particular pile. You need to work on how you interpret things around you. I always say a good thing to remember about life is that everything is working for you and never against you. Every experience you have in life, be it negative or positive, is there to teach you very valuable lessons. My question to you, my pile one, is: are you learning from these experiences? Are you learning? Are you applying the information that you're learning? Are you interpreting things on a more positive spectrum, or are you just being a pessimist or thinking about things negatively? Because if you are a pessimist and you think about negative things all of the time, that's all you're going to create in your reality. That is basically how sensitive our thoughts could be, and that is how sensitive life is, actually, because a lot of what you think, you manifest and you bring into reality. You bring it into your reality. So what are you bringing into your life by the thoughts that you have, my pile one? What are you bringing or attracting into your life by thinking the worst case scenario about people, places, and experiences? That is my question to you, and I say that with a lot of love. Okay. Now, this particular card, it talks about internal strength. Okay. It says here, I am confident. So is there a need for some of you to also work on your confidence, my pile one? How are you actively engaging in confidence building activities? For example, dancing, acting, singing. These are activities that can literally boost your confidence. Putting yourself out there, facing your fears, facing your own internal demons. Maybe you have a stage fright kind of thing going on. Maybe you have, some sort of challenge there with your confidence. How are you actively engaging in activities that would help you build your confidence? Because that is something nobody could work on for you but yourself. Nobody else can do the internal work for you but you, my pile one. So yeah, you have a lot of inner strength. In case nobody told you, I'm telling you right now, you have a lot of internal strength. You have the ability, again, to stabilize your own emotions. You have the ability to ward off the darkness in your life. You have the ability to illuminate and heal your own self. You have these things in you already. But is it that you have so much negative thoughts sometimes, my pile one, that you don't see these traits about yourself? I keep it real on my channel. I don't encourage people to be in self-pity or to wallow in self-pity and self-doubt and all these lower vibrational energies. I try to encourage all of you on here to see life at least in a more positive, manner, So I guess that is what I have to say to you. That's the channel messages that I got for pile one. And I hope this information helped, okay? Again, if you are really struggling internally, be it emotionally or mentally, feel free to reach out to me if you feel like you have nobody else to talk to. I am 100% confidential with information, so feel free to access my services. If you need that help, and follow my Instagram page for intentional living. That page is actually more for the counseling clients that I do have, but outside of that, I think you, my pile one, should just really do a lot of positive thinking. There's a need for you to have more positive thoughts, about what is happening to you externally. And I think once you make that shift internally, you're going to see a major difference with how things unfold for you externally, if that make any sense. I hope this really helped you guys. Okay, so let's go on to pile one. Pile one was like deep, Let's go on to pile two. I feel lonely. Okay, let me channel some messages for you intuitively based on the card. I think for you, my pile two, are you feeling like a loner? You give off lone wolf vibes, my pile two. I could relate to this kind of energy because I genuinely feel like an alien sometimes in this world because my perspectives are so different and how I choose to live life is so different compared to everybody else. I literally feel like an alien sometimes. So if that is you, then this is definitely your pile, because I too can also relate to feeling like a different person and, not really understanding. I genuinely think this is just my thoughts, okay? And maybe I'm channeling this message to help somebody out there, to make it, maybe it would make sense to you, but I genuinely feel like I didn't have to reincarnate when I reincarnated on this planet, and I really just reincarnated to see what it would be like to be a human. I don't think like in a past life I was actually a human. I genuinely think that I was, because that is how deeply I feel that I don't belong, because I'm so different. That's how I genuinely feel. And y'all can make fun of me if you want to, whatever. I don't care. This is how I feel, And maybe for you, my pal, too, maybe that is how you feel. Maybe you feel like you've never really belonged. Maybe you feel like people never really understand you. Maybe you feel like, you're so unique, you're so different, you don't really have a place in this reality that we live in. Maybe that is you, and if that is you, then okay, great, you chose the correct pile. All I have to say is that is our strength, right? Literally, because we all have a very unique purpose. Every human on this planet has a very unique purpose. Okay. I could go into soul contracts, but as I think that's gonna be for a whole other video. But I think for you, my viewer of pile 2, if this sounds like you have a very unique purpose, and it's actually a purpose where you don't have to fit in, and that's probably why you feel so like the cheese stands alone, and it's okay to feel like that. It just means that your purpose has to be fulfilled on your own, okay, on your own, and you have a very unique life purpose. So it's not that you it's not that you don't have a place in this world. You do. And because you have a very important purpose, that's why you're gonna feel like, yeah, you don't really belong. Maybe you are in the process of trying to figure out your life purpose, my pile 2. I remember this used to be me at a stage in my life. I used to be like, what is my purpose? But then I actually figured it out. And now that I've figured it out, it gives life more meaning for me. And maybe you needed to hear this message. Eventually, you're going to figure out your life purpose. Eventually, you are going to find your place in life. And sometimes it looks so different compared to everybody else. That's why you should never compare your life or your life journey to anybody else. Because at the end of the day, we all have a very unique purpose, And by unique, I just mean like different. Comparison is the killer of joy. Never compare your life or your situation to anybody else's, because we were all meant to live a different path. All of us. We were all given a very unique path to follow, and it does not have to look like everybody else's. Yeah, so I know you needed to hear that, pile 2. Let's dive into the cards and see what your strengths are. Okay. I'm going to randomly select. Let's see. I'm only going to be pulling 3 cards. Yes. So let's see. Ugh, Lordy. Okay. That is why this actually makes sense. This Herkimer diamond. To the top of this, it says enlightenment. So you, my viewer for pile 2, you were given that particular duty of enlightening others and bringing others to a state of consciousness that they probably didn't even know existed before they actually met you, my pile number 2. So you're gonna experience things in life. Ooh, geez. If you are a light worker, listen. Ooh, child. Ooh, we have it the hardest. Like, if you were given a particular purpose, that purpose of bringing light to the life of others and encouraging people along a more enriched kind of path, then you you probably been through it. You've probably been through it, and that's okay. We all experience a lot of kickback from, especially people who don't have, the similar, I guess, how do I word this? People who do not share in the same sentiments as you in terms of having differences and respecting those differences. I could see how for you, my pile too, you probably had a lot of kickback from those type of people. Hold on, let me pause the video. Okay, so yeah, it says here, I am an idea in an illusory world. Okay, so you were given a very unique purpose. That purpose is to break illusions, okay, where they exist. Your strengths are actually centered around that. You're able to, I guess, give people a reality check when they need it, which is good. And sometimes that is not an easy role or an easy title to hold. When you take on the role of teacher, where is a role, but role of teacher, it sometimes requires you to discipline people and to give them, for want of a better term, punishment for behaviors that may not be high vibrational or behaviors that are potentially destructive. Okay, so yeah, it says here to the bottom of this card, brings angelic and spiritual consciousness. So your purpose, my pile 2, involves raising people's I guess vibrational energy by bringing to their consciousness the things that need addressing, or the things that need to be addressed. So it says here on this card, opens third eye for psychic abilities. Ooh, some of you, I know you probably don't want to hear this, but some of you, your life purpose is, around giving people psychic downloads or psychic insights. Okay, now for the narrow-minded people, you're probably going to say, oh, psychics don't exist, is a this, is a that. Listen to me. Especially all narrow-minded religious people. First of all, if you're narrow-minded like that, get off my channel. I don't need your energy here. Secondly, if you are a very open-minded person, you would understand that, yes, the holy book of life, if we want to get complex here, does have parts of it that talks about people having different spiritual gifts. And we all have different spiritual gifts, okay? So if you want to talk religion, then you would know, if you are a proper religious person, that people have different spiritual gifts, okay? And it's not going to look the same across the board for different people. Moving along, so it says here, clairvoyance, clairsentience. So those are your strengths, my pile 2. Some of you are clairvoyant. You may get visions, you may have dreams. You may get downloads from the creator, divine source, through your dreams, through visions, through that kind of, I guess, gift, because some of you are clairvoyant. That chose pile 2. And it also says here clairsentient, so some of you may be able to sense things before they actually happen. You may have sense of knowing, intuition, high intuition, my pile 2. Those are your strengths. These were gifted to you so that you can use them to raise the consciousness of the collective and to enlighten people and show them how they are being, I wanted to say conditioned. The term conditioned is what came to mind, so I'm gonna have to use it. A lot of what we experience in life, especially through I guess the brainwashing, I like to call it brainwashing, through social media. We're talking music, the type of music. If you pay attention to music now, it's quite frankly a little bit toxic, and that is how I want to say, you see, I have to be careful of how I word this. That is how the elites and the those people that want to mind control, that is how they actually control the collective. They have the low vibrational things being shared in the music we listen to, and it's infiltrating the movies that are being produced, etc. And those mediums are used to actually affect and condition our brains in a negative way. Okay, so if you are conscious, if you are highly connected, you would know that there are some things you just shouldn't look at, there are some songs you just shouldn't listen to. Okay, hands down. So it says here creativity and truthfulness. So that is another strength of yours. You're a very creative soul. We all have some level of creativity within us. We just need to tap into that. Okay, it says here truthfulness. Okay, and knowledge of one's true self. So your strengths, my pal, too, is all of the things I just mentioned. Your self-knowledge, your spiritual gifts that you've been given, and some of you are clearly it's untapped potential. Here's what I pick up on. Some of you are not fully aware of your own spiritual gifts, but it would take you getting to know yourself at a much deeper level in order to truly connect with your spiritual gifts. Okay, but your purpose is to enlighten. It's around enlightenment according to the card. I don't make this shit up. I'm just reading what it has on the cards. Okay, now it has here green kunzite at the bottom of this card. It says my vulnerability is my strength. So some of you need to know that vulnerability is a strength. Speaking your truth is a strength. Maybe you were taught that vulnerability is something that you shouldn't really show. Maybe you were conditioned into believing that when you open up to people, it's a risk you're taking because people could use the information against you. Maybe you were taught that vulnerability is a sign of weakness. Whatever you were taught, I want you to stop right now and throw it out the window and reprogram your mind, okay, and understand that vulnerability is a strength. It takes a lot for you to say, hey, I was robbed when I was 15 years old walking through an alley. And you know what I learned from that experience? I learned that I have to be more self-aware. Now, that's not my story, guys. I personally was never robbed. Thank God I will never be, because that's just not the frequency I operate on. But that was just a random example that I shared with you guys, okay? I was never robbed in an alley. I just use that example as something for you guys to, I guess, have a fair idea of, the point I was making. But anyway, moving along. So, yes, it says here, self-acceptance. Okay, so that is another one of your strengths. You accept yourself fully for who you are. According to the card, you have emotional strength. Okay, that's another strength of yours. You are full of love. You have compassion, you have empathy. So these are just some of your strengths that I think, quite frankly, I think it is untapped. Like, these are your strengths that you haven't really tapped into. The main reason why I say that is because from this, just looking at this card, I think that you are still trying to find yourself. You're still trying to find, your purpose, etc. My pal too. There's a part of you that is still locked up. That is the two words that are coming to mind. It's locked up. It's potential that you haven't really held on to just yet. And this one, it says here spaciousness, Larima. It's a crystal. To the bottom of it says here, I welcome positive change. So another one of your strengths, my pile too, is the fact that you welcome positive change. When change arrives, I think you welcome it. Positive change, that is. And if you don't do that, then there is a need for some of you to just really welcome positive change, yeah, and have a more positive approach to change in general. So it says here, to the bottom of this card, restores balance from emotional extremes. So that is a strength of yours. You can restore that balance you need within self when you do go off on an extreme. So for some of you, if you do have a potential, or you do indeed go off on the extreme sometimes, you're only human. And I think what you need to realize and give yourself more credit for is that you are able to return to a place of balance after you've potentially gotten whatever you need to get out of your system. Okay, It says here this crystal is also responsible for addressing bipolar disorder, OCD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So some of you for this pile, you may have something called post-traumatic stress disorder or obsessive compulsive disorder. Now OCD is a disorder where you constantly need to have everything in order, you know, arranged, totally clean, totally neat, totally tidy. There's a need for you to always control, you know, your environment kind of way, and that is actually a trauma response. Okay, it's a trauma response, and so is post-traumatic stress disorder, which is also a disorder that involves a lot of physical, sometimes pain, a lot of physical manifestations of a lot of unresolved emotional issues or challenges. Okay, so some of you may have, that chose this pile, you may have potentially, I'm not saying this is your story. If this is not your story, don't take it. Okay, it's gonna be somebody else's story if it's not yours. Some of you that chose pile 2 could have obsessive compulsive disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, or you may have a little bit of anxiety. Okay, and it just makes you human. I think some of those things are tied, especially the anxiety. The anxiety could be tied to the fact that you may be actually clairvoyant or clairsentient. Yeah, and I've noticed that across the board, when people have certain spiritual gifts, they may have a tendency towards, I think, anxiety, especially because you get so much information, you get so much, I guess, downloads from your external environment that sometimes it's a bit much for your nervous system to process and adjust to. Okay, it's normal, especially for my spiritual people. If you know, you know. Okay, it says here emotional disorder. So some of you, even if you do have your emotional challenges here and there, I think again it's tied into a bunch of untapped potential. Like there's a lot spiritually that you're not exploring, my pile 2, and I think you need to really tap into that energy, you know, that explorative energy, when you, that self-discovery part of yourself. Does it make sense to you? I'm sure it'll make sense. Okay, just taking the information. Yeah, it says here fear of change. So some of you may fear change, you know, for pile 2, or you may have, there may be some sort of uneasiness that you feel when there is change in your life. And I'm here to tell you that, hey, change is a very natural part of life. Okay, especially positive changes. And when you think more positively about your experiences, it does a lot for you. Okay, it says here that this crystal says calming and soothing. So some of you need to understand that you have the ability to calm yourself, soothe yourself, and also truthfully communicate those I guess experiences. Okay, whatever experiences you're having, you have the ability to truthfully communicate. Some of you may need to work on your throat chakra, the energy house in your body that is responsible for communication. How you do that? Well, you can first begin by eating a lot of foods that are blue. Okay, so blueberries, foods that are rich, especially green foods. When I say green foods, I mean fresh foods, not green as in a literal color green, obviously, but I mean like fresh foods that are blue. Okay, so any sort of foods that have that blue hint or tint to it, start eating those. Additionally, you can practice hearing yourself speak more. I think when there are a lot of throat chakra blockages or challenges with communication, it comes from not being able to speak or not being able to communicate, or probably being shut up or not being heard enough. So how do you counteract that? Well, you need to talk more. You know, talk more, speak up more, communicate more. Talk as much as you can. Talk about your day. Talk about the activities you did in a day. Talk about your games. Talk about the things you're engaged in on a daily basis. Start there, start off simple, and then you can go off into talking about the more serious things like OCD if you have OCD, or even your PTSD if there is some of that. Okay, but talk. It's gonna help you. It's gonna greatly benefit you in the long run. You do have, that is your strength. You do have the ability to truthfully communicate. I just feel like some of you need to actually tap into that a little bit more, the communication skills. Yeah, but it's a strength you naturally have. You just probably need to work on it a little more. All right, so let's go on to pile 3. So these were your strengths, my pile 2. I hope this helped you. Okay. So pile 3, did I say pile 2 or pile 3? Anyway, let's go to pile 3. Emotions overwhelm me, right? So I put the video on pause for this pile. Then I thought I was going to resume, but I accidentally pressed the stop button. So what I'm getting from that, I'm going to channel some messages based on that, okay? Because I don't think anything happens by chance. I think everything happens in such a way where, you know, it's signs actually from the universe. I think with you, my pile 3, when you do begin to feel emotions, there is a stop button that you press. Boop, and you stop your emotions because you don't want to feel. Now, my question to you is, why do you stop yourself from feeling the emotions that you're supposed to feel? Is it that you were taught that emotions are negative, or you're not supposed to experience feelings? Is it that you were conditioned or taught that showing any sort of emotions is weakness? Is it that you were, you know, what are your thoughts on emotions? I want you to really sit with that question. What are your thoughts? What is your relationship with emotions? How do you view emotions? Okay? So, because I get that for this pile, as the card says, emotions overwhelm me. So, I'm guessing intuitively that for pile 3, you do not have a positive relationship with emotions because they overwhelm you. They make you feel, I guess, out of place, out of balance, or whatever you feel or experience when emotions come knocking at your door is something you need to examine, and you need to ask yourself why that happens to you. Because I feel like some of you shut down when you begin to experience a lot of emotions, okay? And I want you to really ask yourself why that happens, okay? Now, when you find out why it happens, I want you to dig a little deeper and ask yourself how you can fix that, okay? There are a lot of self-help information online and a lot of things related to emotional regulation and emotions in general. So go explore that and go look into that a little more, okay? All right, so let's see what your strengths are. What your strengths are according to these cards. I'm going to randomly select. Oh, these are so pretty. I like the color of these stones. I really do. You got a purple one. Okay. Okay, so are you a water sign, my pile 3? I feel like you're a water sign. You can be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio if you choose pile 3. This is just by a guess, you know. You can also be an Aries. Oh, Jesus. Aries people, let me tell you something about Aries people. They don't have a good relationship with emotions. They don't. They explode, and that's just their energy. They're very warlike in nature. And Aries people in particular, I think, need to get involved in physical activity like sports. Because that energy, that aggression they naturally carry, if they channel that in the right avenue, they're going to be a huge success, okay? So let's see. I'm guessing you can also be a Leo or Sagittarius. Okay. Aquarius. Gemini. Probably Libra. Y'all, if you have a dog in the background, again, I don't take anything as it randomly happening. I think probably your emotions make you feel a little bit annoyed at times, because while I'm hearing that dog, he's annoying me. He's literally annoying me. So is it that your emotions also annoy you at times? And why do your emotions annoy you? Why do your own emotions annoy you? You know? I just wish that dog would stop because he's very annoying. That's my neighbor's dog. My neighbor has a very annoying dog. He barks for no reason. You know how some dogs actually bark for a reason? He barks for no reason. Okay, so, I'm probably gonna, yeah. So is it that you get emotions as well and you're wondering, like, What was the reason for that emotion? You know, maybe you may have like a buildup of emotions, and then you're like, what is your reason for that? Because I just said that the dog barks for no reason. So is it that you feel like you have emotions that just appear, and then you're like, what is the reason for that? You know? Okay, let's see. Your strengths are your feminine mystery. Okay, to the bottom of this card it says, I am one with the divine goddess. So some of you naturally carry a lot of feminine energy. And by feminine energy, I don't mean literal, because of, you know, when you think feminine, you think gender. I don't talk about gender on here that much, rarely ever. I mainly refer to the energy. So when I say you carry a lot of feminine energy, I mean that you carry a lot of nurturing energy naturally. You have that nurturing kind of vibe about you. Okay? And you have, your strength is that. Your strength is the fact that you carry a lot of nurturing energy. Like that is, it's coming out in the cards, I have to say it. It says here that you also possess far-seeing abilities. So some of you possess the ability to see far into the future. You may have the gift of foresight and you don't even know it. Some of you may have that blocked from you because of the fact that you are not processing your emotions enough. Okay? Okay, so now the dog is crying. Do you cry easily, my pile 3? Or is there's something about crying here? Maybe you need to cry more. If you cry easily, it's not a bad thing, okay? It's not a bad thing. Now, for others of you, if that is not your story, there may be a need for some of you to actually just cry, just let it out. You know, tears are actually very therapeutic in nature. In case you didn't know, now you do. There are different types of tears, and they actually get rid of certain hormones from your body, different hormones from your body, depending on the type of tears, okay? Okay. So, well, they help release certain hormones in your body as well when you cry, okay? Mystery of the universe. Some of you can actually connect with the mysteries of the universe. It may sound mystical and whimsical, but hear me out, right? So, you know, like for example, there are untapped truths with respect to like Egyptian history and things that are undiscovered. I think for you, my viewer, for pile 3, you can actually like discover things that people wouldn't normally discover, you know? That's a strength of yours. Others of you, you have a lot of insight, deep insight, you know, and that is a strength of yours. In case nobody told you, you do. And that's probably why you... Yeah, I'm guessing that you all could be water signs with this pile, because water signs are usually very deep people. You know, they may seem really cool on the surface and calm on the surface, but with like deep within, they are, from what I know of water signs, they carry a lot of emotional depth. You know. Yeah, so don't block out your emotions, my pile 3. Some of you need to hear that emotions are very normal. They make you human. Some of you need to keep a feelings diary or start journaling, start writing your emotions down. There may be some information for you in pile 1, so go check out pile 1. Okay. Yeah, those are your strengths. Your feelings are your strengths. I think for you, my pile 3, you feel things so deeply that sometimes it could overwhelm you, is what I gather from the cards, you know. So the bottom of this card, it says here, I am free. Okay. So your strength as well, my pile 3, is that you are full of hope, clear thinking, inner joy, inner peace. You have those qualities naturally. Okay. You are very self-sufficient. You bring knowledge. you bring knowledge of yourself to people, and to, I guess, to others. You could probably teach others how to connect with their self, their inner self. That's cool. Those are your strengths. And you also have some psychic abilities in there. I think once you learn how to channel your emotions properly, my pile 3, you are going to. This is another pile where you have a lot of untapped potential, Yeah. Let's go into pile. Actually, no. Let's go into the third card. It says a royal healer. I am one with the divine order. Some of you are natural born healers. You carry that healing energy. People who are natural healers or people who carry healing energy, they are usually projected onto a lot because their energy is neutral. It's flat. It's calming, it's soothing, it's non-threatening. And I think when you have that non-threatening kind of energy, a lot of people attack that. It's sad, but it happens. People attack that because they feel like you're so all about peace, you're all about love, you're all about calmness, you won't fight back or speak up, So, yeah, that is what a lot of people misunderstand about healers or people who naturally have a lot of calming energy. I think for you, that is a strength. You have, like it says here, brings deep calming. And I didn't even read this yet. I was just talking, But you do have a lot of calming energy, my pile 3. You naturally have that. That is a strength, okay? But be careful of energy vampires or people who just naturally want to get a response out of you. Yes, there are crazy people out here like that. Be on guard, my pile 3. Some of you need to have firm boundaries with people. And you need to let people know their place, literally. You could be all for love and light, but you can also put people in their place respectfully, okay? It says it integrates mind, body, and spirit. So that is a strength of yours, my pile 3. You are able to integrate those aspects of yourself very well. And once you channel your emotions the right way, I think you can also teach others how to integrate their mind, body, and spirit. Yeah. So it says here, brings mutual understanding. So you're able to bring that mutual understanding to people, or establish that mutual understanding between yourself and others. That is a strength of yours. You are also very sensitive to other people's emotions. Oh, I get it. Some of you need to learn how to create an energetic shield around you to protect yourself from the emotions of others. Because what I get from pile 3, you all could be empaths or people that feel the energies or emotions of others very easily. And sometimes you may mistake those emotions for your own emotions. That's probably why you would feel overwhelmed at times, okay? That is only going to be for some of you. Now, for others of you, I'm getting here that you're also very naturally humorous. You have a sense of humor. You're spontaneous. You're full of joy. And these are your strengths. These are parts of you that are very positive traits. And I just want to remind you of that. So the overall aim of this reading was to remind you of your strengths so that you can tap into those and utilize them, more, I guess, consistently or on a daily basis. Yeah. So I hope this information was helpful. If you guys like, don't forget to subscribe. If you don't like, feel free to visit another channel. Bye.